now available in paperback and e-readers. Isis, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess. The goddess next door takes on the threat of a deadly digital diva driven to destroy the world in this action-packed, all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess featuring a bonus pin-up and the other two books in the Cyber Goddess saga at online bookstores everywhere today. Black men and black women really need to get out of this gender war because white supremacy is waging a race war on us as we speak. Now, over the last 15 years that your YouTube and social media have been a part of the internet, your black men and black women have been in the middle of a back and forth where they continue to try to argue about which gender caused all of the problems in the black community. And as they have continued going back and forth in different phases over the last 15 years of this gender war, white supremacy has been using social media to lay the foundation for a race war on black Americans. Now, your white supremacists have been using social media to go out here and participate in acts of violence, just like the Tops supermarket mass shooting, and they have numerous forums online where they're sitting there talking about foundational black Americans and waging war on black Americans. However, most black people are not out here looking to use the internet as a tool to empower themselves. No, most of your black people are out here looking to get views as related to this gender war, and they're looking to go back and forth on these platforms talking about which gender was the one responsible for the state of the black community. Well, I'll tell you who's really responsible for the state of the black community, and that is those black people who buy into the narratives of white supremacy, because the white supremacist is the one who benefits from the gender war, because a divided black community is one that he can send his race soldiers to go out here and easily conquer. Because as long as you've got your black women talking about hashtag divesting and doing things like aborting black male children, or we have black males sitting there being a part of the high value cult, all of these individuals are distracted from more important things like dealing with the white supremacist who is looking to use the internet as a tool to destroy the black community, and they do that by dividing and conquering black people. Because as long as you're distracted in a back and forth in a gender war where you have black women talking about divesting from the black community and black males talking about being high value men who are going to go out here and be the ones that get chased by women, we have people focused on foolishness and not focused on important things as related to the community, like building a community where we have men who are out here who can protect the community and women who can help men build a strong black community. As long as we've got black people fighting each other, they are doing part of white supremacy's dirty work, and all of this back and forth on social media is hurting the black community, because when we have black people distracted, they're not focused on the important things that new black media have been talking about. New black media has been trying to tell black Americans about these race soldiers. New black media has been trying to tell black Americans for the last 15 years that we are dealing with a growing population of these beta male ticking time bombs who are looking to do harm to black people. And they've also been trying to tell you about trying to get tangibles in exchange for your vote. And they've also been trying to tell you that these individuals are watching these platforms, and they are watching most of the black platforms, and they see that we're not talking about things like what we used to. But the big problem is we've got this gender war going on, and this gender war is impeding the progress of the black community. I mean, for 15 years, I have seen black men and black women going back and forth with this relationship crap, and it's taken us nowhere. Meanwhile, you've got white supremacists planning strategies on how to take black people out in the real world on these platforms, and they're using the internet as a tool. But many black folks, they would rather sit here and talk about what somebody said online as related to a Kevin Samuels live stream or a Cynthia G live stream, rather than focus on serious issues as related to black people. That's becoming a major problem, because when I look at this whole gender war, again, it's a war that is undermining black America online, and what it's doing for both black men and black women is creating an extremely dysfunctional echo chamber. And inside of those echo chambers, we are getting not functional, foundational black Americans, but dysfunctional black Americans who are participating in self-hatred. Because inside of each of those gender war echo chambers, all we hear is negative things about black women and negative things about black men, and all of that negativity is teaching self-hatred to the next generation of brothers and sisters, and is having a long-term impact on the mental health of all of these brothers and sisters out here. I have watched many of these YouTubers who make these kind of videos, and I see a serious deterioration of their mental health as they make this content, very similar to what I saw with your Frank James before he was arrested and charged with the mass shooting that took place here in New York City. I see a lot of these black males and black females who make this gender war content, and I can see the serious damage it is doing to their mental health by making this kind of content, and I see the serious damage it is doing to our black community. When you have people imbibing this content, it is doing serious damage to the minds of brothers and sisters to have this constant back and forth where you're sitting there blaming a black man for something that they didn't even know about. It's blaming a black female for something she didn't know about, and continuing to point fingers at each other instead of looking to say, hey, okay, we know what the problems are. We've talked about these problems over and over again, and now it is time for us to start talking about building a bridge between each other and start working on solutions to bringing black men and black women together, and us coming together. Because yes, these gender war videos, yes, they get lots of views and they make lots of money for the content creators, but they are doing serious harm to the black community, because those who imbibe this kind of media for extended periods of time, what is happening is I'm seeing again their mental health starting to deteriorate, because the longer you continue to watch videos talking about bad black women or bad black men, it has a bad effect on you, and it has a bad effect on your perception of reality. And as you're perceiving the world based on what you've seen on the internet, you're not really seeing the real world, and you're not seeing the real danger that's coming from the white supremacists out here. You're so busy focused on an enemy that isn't really an enemy, and then you're out here fighting each other, not understanding the danger that you're in. So when I look at this whole gender war, this is something that we really need to stop, because as you're out here having your gender war, there's other serious, more important things going on that we need to focus on as a collective. There are other, more impertinent issues we need to deal with in the black community, and we really need to get off of this gender war, because while you're sitting there arguing about Kevin Samuels and the high value cult and complaining about black women, or you're so-called divesting with the bottom shelf brads, there's a lot of things going on in the black community that really need the help of everyone. And we really need to get off of this gender war, because the longer we have a divide in our community with the gender war, that makes it the victory for white supremacy to be that much easier as related to destroying the black community, destroying the black race, and destroying black people as a collective, because a divided people will always fall. And the problem with the gender war online is creating a lot of division, is creating a schism that is destroying black people. And we really need to understand that this division really is really, again, not really good for us, because we're distracted. And if we're distracted, we can't focus on black empowerment. We can't focus on building in the black community. We cannot focus on protecting the black community. And if we cannot focus on protecting the black community, we're in serious trouble, because you've got enemies all around. And because you're sitting there arguing with this black female, and this black male over trivial things, because it's not like you're arguing about somebody who was a traitor to the community, who is doing harm to us, like the bootleg class. No, the gender war is black men and black women arguing about relationship crap. Meanwhile, we've got a bootleg class selling out the black community, and we've got got a lot of enemies again around us, but we're sitting there focused on trivial things. And the gender war is truly trivial, because the white supremacist uses this trivial social matter in order to sow anti-black racism, and then uses that anti-black racism to cause division. And sadly, we have more people focused on the trivial gender war than the race war. And we really need to get focused on the race war, because if we don't focus on the race war, we're going to be losing the greatest battle we are in the middle of. Now, if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, and my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And if you want to pick up some of my positive black fiction on the SJS Direct imprint, like the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, the John Haynes series, and the books of the Spencerella trilogy, you can find those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them on Smashwords, the iBook Store, and Google Play. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, E-Steam Horror of the Hyena Woman. Hell's aspiring angel takes on a wicked werewolf in this action-packed all-new E-Steam series adventure. Get E-Steam Horror of the Hyena Woman in paperback and e-readers today.